Okay, so basically this whole system is super enchant on your rings, and you have 2 rings that you can use. You can obviously use different sets of those, and you have 2 types of super enchants: combat and professions. So I'll start with combat. Let's go. So this one is 15% movement speed, 15% attack speed, but decreases your mana regeneration and energy regeneration. This one is 15% increased effect from your items, from your healing items. So potions and stuff like that. This one right here is 10% increased damage while you're not in the party. Just soloing content. This one to go on elbow. Some effect is gonna be proc twice. I don't know what that effect is. Supercharge all your charging skills. Casting speed increased by 40%. Overcharge if you overcharge it. So if you finish the cast, the critical chance is increased by 30%. If the target, oh no. Okay, so if your health is lower than 30%, your damage is increased by 15%. I think, yeah. This one right here. If you have more than 80% HP, your damage is increased by 15%. Not sure about this one. Increases the damage to bosses by 20%, but increases the damage taken by them by 30%. When you use your space, you get invincibility. I'm guessing while using space in the cast animation. If you're immune to CC, you get 20% decrease on all the damage, so you get 20% less damage. Decreases your space cooldown by 20%. This one, Rocky. Oh, so there is like monsters in this game, kind of like goblins in Diablo, with gold and stuff like that. It increases damage to them by 300%. So if you're farming them, you just get a ring and this enchant. That's good. Oh, interesting. So, your magic and physical armor, right? You have magical and physical armor in this game, and basically the one that is lower, it ups it right to the higher one. So basically, your both of your magic armor and physical armor are gonna be identical now. So, for example, if you have 200 physical armor and 400 magical armor, then you get plus 200 physical armor. So they're both 400. Okay. Next one. Singsan Handa. I'm not sure what this Ettore. I don't know what this effect is. Don't know about this one. So this just gives you more money. 6% chance to get money from a mob, I think, or maybe 6% increased amount of money. I'm not. This is kind of confusing. Oh, interesting. So if you're farming basically secret maps, if you get one, there's a 30% chance that you get a second one. If you get damage that kills you, you're not dying. You get invincibility for 3 seconds, and throughout those 3 seconds, all the damage that you get, 50% of that is healed. Increases crit damage by 50%. But when you attack, there's a certain chance to decrease it by 20%. I don't know. It's confusing too. Basically just increases your critical damage. Okay, so when you're using the skills with 무력화, which is things like CC skills, you notice there is a bar under the boss's HP, and when this bar goes to 0, basically boss goes down. When you use those skills that have a good stat of 무력화, disabling stat on them, the effectiveness of those skills goes up by 30%. This one, content types. Okay, so there's like penetration to some skills, armor penetration. It just gives more penetration to those skills that already have it. Same goes for destroying armor, I think. There's something like that. Increase your mana by 25%. Increase your mana regeneration by 40%. Decrease your cooldown of Trinket by 20%. Trinket is something that breaks the CC. So depending on how much health you're missing, the damage that you get is decreased. So the lower health you have, the less damage you get, with the maximum of 30%. So if some boss is down, right? If you CC the boss, that target has 75% decreased armor. %50 increased damage to shields. Increased damage you deal by 15% if your HP is lower than 30%. When you attack, there is a certain chance you get some kind of a blasting that I think decreases the next attack by 60%. The damage from next attack, if I'm reading this correctly. Increase your whole armor. Increase your whole armor, and you're basically immune to all armor penetration effects, I think. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Oh, just explosives. So there's battle items in this game, and you can use like explosions, for example, explosives, and you also always have a limit of those battle items that you can use. For example, you can use like 5 pots in a fight, or like, I don't know, 5 explosives. And here it increases the amount of items you can use in the raid fights and stuff like that, battle items, twice. So by 100% increases it. Okay, so well, that's interesting. If you have a shield on yourself, you're immune to all the CC, but the amount of shield, the shield is just twice smaller. I think this is just some random summon that damages the enemy when you, with a certain chance when you attack, something like that. Okay, so if the person has 100% HP, your first attack is going to be 100% crit. Okay, the boss that is down, damage is increased by 30%. With a certain chance after attack, you get like some lightning charges, and when you get 5 of those, it's gonna explode in the radius. The damage that you do is increased by 10%, but all the healing items, not only items, but all the healing that you get is decreased by 25%. Every time you kill an enemy for 30 seconds, your main stat is increased. Up to 5 stacks. Doesn't say how much it increases. Okay, there is a stat almost on all the skills except for AoE ones. Back attack, which is kind of like a backstab. So from the back you do more damage. And this one right here increases that damage by 50% from the back. What's atre? Etere. I'm not sure about this one. So there's a 10-second cooldown. If for 3 seconds you're not getting damaged, then your mana regeneration increases. When you're using your space, there is a certain chance that the cooldown of space refreshes. When you get a shield, the damage that you take is decreased by 50%, 15%. The more movement speed you have, the more damage you have. This one. 50. So decreases the cooldown of your ultimate by 50%, and you can use it also one more time. For example, in cube you can use it 3 times, I think. Was it 1 time or 3 times? I can't remember. Anyway, it increases it by 1 time. Holy shit. This one increases your energy, for example, here by 50%, I think. Nego? Is that Nego? I think so. So when you use your identity skill to 3 times, right? So to the third level, the time, the duration of that is increased by 50%, and then after it ends, you can use it again 10 seconds faster. Okay. Okay, I'm done.